What's up, guys? Welcome back. So right now I am in my new little temporary office in Peniche, Lisbon. We arrived here, when did I arrive? Saturday around noon in Lisbon, and then we had a day there, did some surfing. Now we're up here in Peniche for the next 4 weeks, which is pretty much, let me just zoom in a little bit somewhere here. It's right here on this tip, which is pretty sweet because ultimately, we're surrounded by some of the best surfing in Europe. All along this beach, we were surfing, oh man, around here yesterday, and then this morning right around here. I think we're going to check out this place this afternoon. And then we actually were in Lisbon here at Caparcia surfing on, what was that, Saturday? Or was it Saturday or Sunday? I don't know. I'm already forgetting. But it's really, really good stuff here. Really nice. So compared to Florida, I mean, the waves are so clean and the periods are very, very long. So it's quite chill conditions. So today, this is where we did our trading, and I don't know if I could kind of show you guys a little bit here, but we got, the kind of the general setup. This is usually where I have my second screen. And yeah, this is where we're gonna be for the next 4 weeks. My face is a little bit red because, getting a lot of sun. I gotta do even more sunscreen than I originally thought. The water is freezing too, so when you got, your thick wetsuit on, you're not totally thinking about getting burnt, but the sun is very strong as well. Back to the trading though, today overall the markets again are super, super red, and I think we're going to see another dump here, maybe in the afternoon. I'm not sure. I'm not totally sure about tomorrow. If tomorrow is red, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow was a really, really nice red to green move in the overall market. So that's kind of what I'm going to be kind of thinking. It really depends what happens here towards the end of the day. In terms of small caps, I really didn't see too many hot opportunities today. NVLA, which is like a $20 billion company, was kind of one of the best small cap quote unquote tickers today. So I was really looking at our swing trades. I was kind of managing our swing trades a little bit across all of my accounts. And then, I was really, really hands off with the day trading today. So day trading, we're a little bit red, but swing trading, we're nicely in the green today. But, it's unrealized profits with the swing trade. One ticker I specifically want to focus on today is TSLA, obviously Tesla. Where is some big short-term support? I want to focus a little bit more on the technicals and how we want to be trading it in the next few days and what I would be thinking about doing in terms of day trading, swing trading, and investing. First, we'll talk about NVLA. I made 2 trades on that one, and then we'll focus on Tesla and talk about KCAC as well. Let's get ready to go to the charts, guys. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy the content. And if you're totally new, don't forget to subscribe. I would love to see you again. Today's the first day of trading for the next 4 weeks in Lisbon, and then it's back to Berlin, and then probably the States from there. So join us for the journey, and let's go to the charts now. Yo guys, so another red day in the market here. No surprise, I think we were all kind of expecting today to be a little bit of a red day after the last 2 days we saw in the overall markets. I do want to talk a little bit about Tesla in this video. Where do we think we're going to see some support, and then kind of go from there, and also obviously talk about some of our other tickers. So today, kind of a bit of a red day here for me. Obviously, LMND is a swing trade, so we don't really have to be discussing this one too much. But NVLA, this is the small cap that I was, well, not really small cap, pretty much a mid cap that I was day trading today. No real interesting small caps that I was really looking at, so it wasn't really a bit of a small cap, typical gap and go day trading day for me. Pretty much was managing a lot of my swing trades in my 25K challenge account, and then just kind of pretty much pause off today, more or less. We did a little bit of trade on Tesla as well. This was a bit of a scratch. So ultimately today I'm down probably $75 day trading, and then LMND is just the swing trade. So let's talk really quickly about NVLA, and then we'll go back to Tesla. NVLA, I think I only did 2 trades on this one. Let's see here. Yeah, 2 trades. And this one is actually really, really interesting because it's a bigger company, 100 million float, kind of like an $18 billion market cap, U.S. auto manufacturer, but EV company. But the catalyst is really, really strong here. So General Motors has, I think it was 11% stake here in NVLA with a partnership. They're working on a lot of stuff together. You guys can obviously read about this partnership a little bit more. I want to talk a little bit about what I was kind of planning on this one. So NVLA, when it started propping up pre-market, I kind of noticed it for the first time when it was around $40. I didn't go ahead and trade this one yet. I was kind of thinking, okay, well, $40, we know this is kind of like a former bounce zone. So this is kind of the resistance area it needs to break through. And I think if it breaks past that, then it's going to be a play for today. And then that's kind of what happened here. So around close to 8 o'clock, I think it was. Yeah, so 7:45, we had that breakthrough. And that was the move up to $54 roughly. And I really like this one. I was like, okay, that's a strong move and a really, really nice catalyst. We remember what happened with ADT when Google had 30% ownership now of ADT. Looked really, really good. It was a massive runner that day. So I was like, okay, so maybe we're going to see some more moves on NKLA pack above 50. Pre-market, consolidation after a nice move like that is no surprise. I tried to do a little bit of dip trading here. This first trade was just a little bit too soon, and it kind of closed this one for a small loss, which was nice because down here I was down like 3% at one point. It was a bigger position size, so not like the funnest place to be. First trade after a 3-day weekend. So I was kind of happy. I just kind of closed out for a small loss, and then at the open, the market was pretty red, and NK and all the other small caps weren't really that interesting. So I was like, okay, so that was a lot of sell volume at first, but then we broke past VWAP, was a pretty decent amount of volume too. So let's try to get a pullback trade. I tried to buy the VWAP pullback here and look for that continuation back above 50. Didn't really get that, and as soon as this one kept on selling off, I sold pretty much right away. So on this candle, as the price was going down, I was like, this is a losing trade. I got out of this one fairly fast. And then luckily we did, because it dumped again and then it just kept on dumping. Thinking about where I could have maybe thought about trading this one again, once we maybe broke back above the 9 EMA and started, bought on this pullback, I could have maybe been day trading NKLA. I was planning to day trade NKLA, but I wasn't, I was lacking a little bit of conviction behind this one. I thought this might be a better kind of swing trade or so. I was busy looking at swing trades. So my mind was a little bit distracted. I don't know. So I couldn't really get aggressive on NKLA, which, looking back at it, it's always like, oh, okay, well, here's some of the really nice pullbacks and some continuations. But yeah, it had a really, really hard time kind of sticking above this $50 zone. And if you look on the daily chart, this is the big kind of cliff zone. We weren't able to break above it here. So we'll see what happens with NKLA. But so far we're holding our highs really, really well. And I like what I'm seeing. So I would not be surprised if NKLA actually had maybe a little bit more continuation. Maybe if it breaks above the 50, maybe there's going to be an afternoon run on it. I like what I'm seeing so far on it. So far, this is bigger volume than we've seen in the last all these big spikes. So everything is looking really promising on NKLA. And it's not even, we're not even near the end of the day. We're just around noon. So, there's a whole second half of the trading session here. So this volume spike is probably going to go up much more. So overall, fairly promising with NKLA. I really, really do like what I'm seeing here. So let's go to, the thing is, Tesla, kind of the EV stock that everyone knows. Even if you're not involved in the markets, you know Tesla. So this is kind of the one with all the hype around it. It looks like the EV cycle. This was, the really, really strong runoff, and this is a huge crack of momentum here. So, how do we want to go ahead and trade this one? There's a lot of competition popping up for everything from EV to, the XPEV, the Chinese electric vehicle company. So, there's more and more competition popping up in the market, and Tesla is a little bit, I would probably say, overbought. Even after this pull back like this, I still think Tesla is a little bit overbought. But, short term, there's definitely some big support opportunities. So it was a little bit annoying because pre-market, we were mapping out some key support zones. And we were saying, between 330 and 340 is a massive amount of support. We had huge resistance. We had a fake out, more resistance, and eventually we broke out from this area. Once we broke out from this area, we had a phenomenal run, right? So we were talking about that area, and unfortunately, I did not go along this area. I was waiting for the 335 and then going a little bit more aggressive at 3.3 and then ideally at 3.30. So I missed my perfect opportunity here in this area, and then this was a 10% bounce. Huge bounce. Tesla was down like 19% on the day. That was so much it was down that I felt like, Tesla is no different company than yesterday, and it's down 20% today. There's no real news. Besides maybe like, some competition, GM merger, and all that stuff. But like, it's not necessarily 20% down on Tesla kind of news. So I knew that there was going to be a decent bounce. Unfortunately, I didn't really get aggressive on it. The problem I have now with Tesla is I always, I'm not a big fan of doing the same trade twice, right? So if I traded now back in the 330 to 340 zone, it wouldn't be that original support line bounce anymore. It'd be kind of like a double bottom play, which you have to typically act a little bit quicker on. I'd be a little bit nervous for this area to crack and from 330 go to like 300 or so, right? So it's I'm a little bit more undecided now than I was in the past on how I want to trade Tesla. Obviously, in my long-term portfolio, I do believe that Tesla is going to keep selling off for maybe another week, 2, who knows, maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, I don't know. But for me, in my long-term portfolio, that I don't swing trade, I don't day trade, I would like to keep buying down into Tesla. That's my goal on this one. But for swing trading, it's a little bit tough in these areas. Last time we came back down to the 180 moving average, simple moving average on the 4 hour, we had a nice little bounce off of it. But I think the difference between this was just a little bit of consolidation, and then we retest this area and then we ran, and we were still on the upside of the move. Now, I don't really think we're on the upside of the move anymore. I could be wrong, and I do believe in Tesla long term, but I think it's going to need a healthier correction after that absolutely wicked run. So again, maybe I will try to do a little bit of a trade here and then maybe trade it back to 400, something like that. And that could be, 10, 16% move. But that would mean it would have to go above the 9 EMA. So maybe even, looking for like an 8 to 12% move would be a little bit safer. We did have a previous scenario where we dipped below the 180-day moving average. And, this was like an 8% dip. And this is very similar to what we saw today. So maybe we're going to get kind of something going to the 330s. Kind of like like here we had that first initial bounce, but then we retested and then we had that nice like 30% move. So maybe looking for something like that is actually the way to go. And this sell-off here was about 35%, and then this sell-off here was, somewhere to go, about 56%. And this took quite some time. I mean, this was like about a month right here, and then from all the way over here. This was like a month, and this was like 2.5 weeks right here. So, overall, this sell-off here, this correction was 63%. And again, I would not be surprised if we saw something like that with Tesla. But in the short term, this right here, this is 38% move. And like we just talked about, this move right here was 35, 36. And then this move right here, this was a bit bigger one. This was that 58. So we got to watch out. Are we going to have one of those 35, 36, 37% kind of dips and then a nice bounce? Or are we going to have, right away like a 60% move? And a 60% move would be much, much stronger. I mean, that would kind of put us back into, let me see here, into the kind of 250s and even further. I'm not really expecting an instant kind of move like that. So again, I probably would consider buying this one, again, maybe in the 330s, 325s or something like that, and then look for that retest. I would have to be a little bit more careful with managing my risk on this one, and then I might even do it in my, my $25,000 challenge swing trade portfolio, so I don't tie up any capital in my day trading portfolio. But I don't know, at the moment, like I'm a little bit undecided, but I think doing another 4-hour candle back dip here in this $330 zone could be a nice trade today. I think the SPY is getting ready for another dip. Looks like NASDAQ's really picking up a little bit of speed here again to the downside, which could bring, all the large caps down with it. So I think there could be some really good opportunities there. Again, like if Tesla goes down like 20% on the day, I think that would be a big, big oversold territory. And then I would like to jump on some possible entry on TSLA. So yeah, overall, I think that's kind of my setup. I hope we're going to get some more small cap action. Again, I really, really can't wait for some small caps to bloom. The last few days, small caps have been a little bit overshadowed by the just overall market. I mean, it's been so hot out there. So we'll see. Something else to maybe, I'll just finish this off very quickly here with KCAC. This company, they really want to become kind of the supplier to the overall EV industry. They make batteries, they make electric vehicle batteries, and this has been a really, really hot stock ever since the merger with Kensington Capital Acquisition with QuantumScape. QuantumScape joined this company so they can kind of skip the IPO process and become a listed company quicker. So we'll see how this one performs. I think any sort of dip on this one below $20, especially into the 16 to 18 territory, could be a phenomenal entry for a bit of a swing trader, maybe even a long-term trade investment with KCAC. So this is another company to follow. Right now, the EV sector is super, super hot. I mean, you obviously don't want to invest in something that is, overbought and a bit overextended, but at the same time, I think maybe KCAC is a bit of a new one that has a little bit more upside. And if it breaks that $25, $26 zone, who knows how far it can go. So another ticker to follow. There's just a very hot space right now, and there's a lot going on. So we'll see what happens. Got to manage your risk though, and yeah, for now, I'm going to keep an eye out for small caps. And well, actually, I'm going to keep an eye out for swing trades and investments, this week for sure. But I hope tomorrow morning we land some small caps again. So I will see you guys first thing on the stream tomorrow morning. And yeah, I will see you guys then. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy the content. Subscribe if you're new. See you tomorrow. Stay safe. Make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao, guys.